our next guest today is Dennis Morgeson, who is with the Washington County Extension Office. And we're very pleased to have you today, Dennis. And I know, like my other guests, they have so many things going on.
Right. Well, we've got a lot going on. Just the last few days, Monday, we had the Beekeepers Association of Washington County met. We had 28 people there for that.
Wow.
And then last night, Robbie Smith, the horticulture agent from Nelson, he's a beekeeper. He came over and taught beginning beekeeping yesterday. We had 22 people from the county for that. So hopefully we'll have probably 50 or 60 beekeepers in the next year in the county. That's just recently. Master Gardener has started that program. We're having that at St. Catherine at the new library. We've got 17 in for that. And if you're not sure what Master Gardener is, it's a class series. It's 14 weeks. We meet for 3 hours a session, and you cover the gamut of horticulture, botany, soils and fertility, entomology, plant pathology, all those things. And at the end of it, they have to do a 30-hour volunteer work through the Extension Office to complete the course. And they have up to a year to do that. After which, we do have a Master Gardener Association that they can join, and they're working in the community. Back at Christmas time, they made homemade wreaths, fresh green wreaths, and sold them and donated the money to the backpack program. They made $500 doing that. So they're always looking for things to do.
And those wreaths were beautiful.
Well, I know they sold several of them down through town here.
Yeah, they were beautiful. Well, that's quite an involved program, the Master Gardener program.
It is. It is.
And but really, you know, we're being a rural community. We do have so many people that love that program and are so interested in it.
Right, and the Master Gardener program is for those that really are serious gardeners. They want to learn the gamut. It's more geared almost like a college course than the actual gardening courses. We do another class series that's ongoing now. It's called the Wheelbarrow Series, and that one is for people that are individual subjects that they want to learn about in horticulture. And we have people come. We might have 15 at one class, may have 50 at another. It just depends on what the subject is. And being in this rural community, you would think that we would have lower numbers at some of these programs than some of the bigger counties, but we don't. We're averaging around 30 people to a class for the Wheelbarrow Series, whereas they're probably averaging that in, say, Fayette County at some of their classes. So the interest in horticulture around this area is big, but we are a rural community, and most people do have a garden of some kind. Maybe a 4 foot by 4 foot garden, but they are out there working in it.
Yes, yes. Well, I love to be outside, so and I have several gardens. I'm afraid I probably should be in one of those programs. And I used to get a booklet, a little brochure on that. Do you not? You all used to send those out?
Yes, we do. We have a mailing list. Sometimes people drop off our mailing list. It's purely accidental. If anybody wants to get this, I've taken this one apart just to look at, but the Wheelbarrow Series class will come in the mail like that. It'll be in a booklet form. If anybody wants that, they can just contact us at the Extension Office at 859-336-7741. For horticulture, talk to Doris, and she'll put you on the mailing list, and you'll get my newsletter, monthly newsletter. Any programs that's coming up, you'll get that in the mail. And also, once you register for the wheelbarrow class, we have it's like the one call that schools do when school's canceled. We have that, and we call and remind people that the class is the next day or in 2 days, and don't forget that you signed up for it.
Yeah.
So that helps, and that's really helped a lot lately. We do that for almost all of our programs now. And people really like those reminders, because sometimes you put something in the refrigerator and you don't see it, and then, you know, the phone call's right there when you get home.
Yeah. Gosh, that's nice. Well, and now it costs, there's a little fee for the wheelbarrow, and it depends on each, those are different prices, I
Right,
believe.
it depends on the class that they're taking. It's $5 to register. We've had 2 classes already. We had one on starting winter sown. Actually, you use old recycled, or you recycle your 2-liter Coke bottles or your milk jugs, and you actually plant your seeds in there and you set it outside. There's a little thing you do, but that's the easiest way. That was the first class, and there was 55 there for that.
Wow.
And then we did the beginning beekeepers, and then coming up later on, the next class is March the 3rd. It's on growing heirloom vegetables, and there is a cost for that. It's $10, but you're going to go home with probably 20 packets of seed vegetable seed to plant at home. Other classes, there's one on onions and potatoes. They have a fee because you're going to take home seed potatoes and onion plants and to put in your garden. Later on, there are some free ones. There's, believe it or not, in September there's an African violet class which is free, and you'll actually get to take home a couple African violets. So sometimes we are able to do some of them free, and you get to take stuff. But usually if you're taking plants, there's going to be a fee to cover that. And if you don't want to pay the fee for the material or for the plants or whatever, you can always opt to come and sit in for free for the information. We're always giving the information for free. But a lot of times people don't have access to some of the varieties and stuff that we do because when we order in bulk, we get a discount. So you'll get more for a cheaper price that way. And sometimes it's the newer stuff out there that's, believe it or not, is not nearly as cheap as expensive whenever you order it in a bulk form.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's good. Really good. Well, now, the Master Gardener program, I think it requires, what's the fee on that one?
Okay, the Master Gardener program, which it's already started, so it's too late for this season.
Is it too late to get in
we
entirely?
Started last week.
Okay, I didn't know.
And it is on Thursday evenings from 5:30 to 8:30 at St. Catherine at the new Emily Hunley Library. So I give that out every time because they're letting us meet there for free. So we give them advertisement every chance we get for having that space. Because, you know, at our office we have the one meeting room, and I think Caprina was here last week, and they're having the biggest winter program. So they've got the room that night, so we can go out there and have programs at the same time that way. That is $50 for the book, and you get to take home all your materials, and that's all they pay. And then we're going to have 14 classes, and then we're going to do one trip to Lexington. We'll go to the Horticulture Research Greenhouses, the Horticulture Research Farm. It's over on Man of War, Nicholasville. I'm sure people have been by there and know where that is with all the switchgrass they've got growing out front right now. And that'll cover that travel and all the other supplies that they'll get during that time.
Okay. Now, on the wheelbarrow, are most of those classes in the evening too?
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. The wheelbarrow class meets on Tuesdays, and we'll teach the same class twice. Once at 10 a.m. and again at 6 p.m. That way, if you can't make one, you can make the other. And that has worked out really well for us, because if you have everything in the evening or everything in the morning, you miss a segment of the population that way because people work and their time, time. But it's worked out well to have it twice. That way, you get a larger audience that way.
And that's for like an hour or
we try to keep it an hour. The other night with the beekeepers, we went a little long because I told somebody the other day, I said beekeepers have lots of questions and are really, gardeners are too, but for the most part we like to keep it about an hour, hour and a half at the most. Just get people used to knowing that, their time's valuable, so is ours, and we like to get them out there on a timely fashion. Now last week we did plant seeds, and all they went a little long because everybody had seeds and plants and things that they needed to do, but we'll try to keep it an hour. Yeah, that's the goal.
And that's at the extension office.
Yes, the wheelbarrow series classes are all at the extension office, and they're about an hour long. And then this year is the first year we've had the Master Garden out in St. Catherine, but it's going to work great, I think.
Yeah, great. Well, one more thing now, Dennis. You're helpful all the time in the community, and of course you write an article each week in the Springfield Sun, and lots of helpful information, because last week it was about seeds and making sure because I collect some seeds each year, like from my zinnias and things of that nature, and so anyway, that was very helpful information. And so, besides your article that you write, people are free to call you at the extension office to get advice and information, aren't they? Right.
They can call me at the extension office anytime. Again, it's 859-336-7741. I do write an article for the newspaper here. It also goes to the Lebanon newspaper. We do a horticulture tip on the radio every week now on Fridays during the newscasts, the local radio stations. And Facebook, we have a Facebook page, Washington County Horticulture. You go on and we want you to like the page, but you also need to follow the page now, or you won't get all the information. You know how that's kind of become that way.
I didn't know that.
And yes, you can do that, and you can always call me. You can always email me. We'll answer those. And some people have my cell phone number, and I don't usually put it out on the TV, but if you want that and you want to text me, a lot of times you'll get a text back a lot quicker than even email, because if I'm sitting in a meeting or whatever and somebody texts me a picture of a plant, wants to know what's wrong with it or whatever, it's easy to text that back really quick. So you can do that too.
Yeah. Well, because I know you know, come up before and looked at some problems I had with a tree, and I think I brought something down to the office one time, you know, that was, you know, had some kind of disease. So you do all that kind of stuff too.
Right. We do home visits, and that's another thing about living in a small community. We can do that. Just give me a call, and we'll set up a time. We'll come out, and if you've got a tree problem or turf problem, whatever, come out and look at it and give you an idea. If I don't know what's wrong with it, I'll take a sample and we'll send it up to UK. It's free, and they'll send it back and tell us what it is after they've tested it. But the larger counties don't do home visits because they can't possibly. That's another service that, you know, in a small community like this, that anywhere in the county you live will come. Sometimes we'll go out of county. We like to get permission from that county's extension agents if, you know, they don't have a Hort agent and they would like for a Hort agent to come. Then we would go through their office, and they need to do that in their office if they want us to come over. But anywhere in Washington County, be more than happy to come take a look at whatever problems you have.
Yeah. Well, aren't we fortunate to have you?
I think so.
Yes, and because, you know, it's anything related to horticulture. So, you know, we're talking trees, plants,
shrubs, ornamentals, any of that kind of stuff. Just about if it's plant related, it's coming to me. I mean, we don't do like soybeans and corn row crops. That's the ag agent, Rick Greenwell.
Right.
But people call and they have a corn question. I'll say, is it sweet corn? If it's sweet corn, it's mine. So it's in the vegetable garden. It's in the yard. Usually it's me.
Yeah.
Also, it's not horticulture related, but chickens, if you got backyard poultry, those kinds of things, I have those at home, pretty knowledgeable on that. So if you have questions on those and getting started, we've done some poultry classes, believe it or not.
Oh.
So I would say that if you live in city limits, it's against the rules to have it. So backyard poultry.
Can't have no chickens in the city.
No chickens in the city. We need to get that changed. We need to talk about that. But, you know, roosters crow, hens don't.
One of my neighbors had them at one time, you know, and those chickens were getting loose all the time. Of course, they weren't supposed to have them, and at some point someone didn't. But there was a rooster, because it woke me up every morning.
Yes, yeah, you don't need to have a rooster in city limits especially, but it is against the rules. And I know it's against the rules in Lebanon, but I've been driving through and see chickens walking down the sidewalk before. But I guess if nobody complains, the city's like, whatever, you know. So, but roosters crow, chickens don't, and you will get eggs if you just have hens. You don't need a rooster. So that's a myth out there that people think.
Okay, well, great. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to share with us?
I just want everybody to come on down to the extension office and take some of the classes. We have people from several counties around now that are even coming here because they may not have a horticulture agent, or there's a class that they'd like to attend, and everybody's welcome. We don't care, you know, where you're from.
So you've got the African violet coming up.
That's in September. Right now, the next few, we got gardening with heirloom vegetables. We have one on potatoes and onions. Growing primocane blackberries and raspberries, which is really interesting. Primocane means that they can be mowed to the ground each fall, and you'll still get blackberries the next summer and into fall.
Oh, my.
So you don't have to worry about if they get killed back or whatever.
One.
Yes, and these are thornless, so that's even better.
Oh, gosh.
So you don't have to worry about them snagging you when you ride by on the lawnmower.
Yeah.
But there's lots of other ones. There's caladiums, calla lilies, clematis, sweet potatoes. I mean, you know, there's a list of about 16 topics.
Okay. Can you give your phone number one more time in case anyone wants to call and get more information?
Yes, it's 859-336-7741.
And this is the Washington County Extension Office, and with Dennis Morgeson, who is the horticulture specialist.
Agent.
Specialist
is good.
Sorry.
I like specialist better.
I like that too. And you are.
Well,
so
I hope so. Try to be.
You're very knowledgeable. So, well, thank you very much.
Thank you for having my hamster code.
For being here with us today.
All right.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing you at a class.
I'll be back anytime.